Hey y'all, it's y'all favorite cozy girl, Chi the Reality Queen, and I am back with another episode of Robe Chronicles. Tonight, we're going to be talking about Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 10, Episode 3. And although this episode started with the taglines, this episode was actually really messy and I loved every minute of it. I'm not even gonna hold y'all. So it starts off, I think, with Angel talking to her husband about the budget for their house, unimportant stuff. We see Ashley at spin class, whatever. But then we see Stacy with Arabella and she's learning to walk. I guess she's learning to be like a little pageant girl, which is so cute. She's 8 years old. She's actually pretty tall, but that makes sense because Stacy's pretty tall. It's actually really cute. So, I support it, whatever. I didn't realize how much of a mess that was right there, but y'all gonna have to endure that for today and however long it's been there and I didn't pay attention. um Stacy's still not telling the daughter that she's back with the dad because she doesn't want it to get messy because they had just told her that they were divorced. Then Wendy is supposed to be meeting with Kay for them to talk. And Kay is like, oh, I want to meet her in a neutral spot, like where we're not like at a party where other people are there. So they meet at like the pier. Very strange. Because they could have met at I guess someone's house isn't neutral and a restaurant might be busy. I don't know. It just seemed like a random spot, a park bench or a pier bench. But anyways, they start talking, and as soon as she starts talking she's like, oh, before we get into it, I want to know if you're doing Preakness. So Preakness is one of, like, I guess the Triple Crown events or something. And Wendy's like, yeah, I was contacted by the first lady of Baltimore or Maryland. Is it the governor's wife or the mayor's wife? I don't remember, but one of them, to hold an event. And Kay was like, oh, I was doing Preakness and I was thinking that we can collab. And she was like, when it was basically like, no, girl, we are not collabing on that because I was specifically asked by someone, which I kind of get. Like, girl, no, don't try to jump in on my event. So, anyways, Kay was like, oh, she's being in her confessional. She's like, oh, Wendy being condescending. Oh, the first lady asked me. She's like, you just met her. Girl, I could have met her an hour ago, but if she asked me to do an event, I'm gonna do it. Like, what are you talking about, Kate? Because you would have done the same thing. Like, I kind of hate when people try to act like, oh, I can't believe somebody's doing that. But if they were presented with the exact same opportunity, they would do the same and maybe even worse. So why are you playing right now? But anyways, then she says, like, I just think that Wendy is interested in being my TV friend and not my friend in real life. And I'm like, it's very weird that she would say that because, and maybe I don't know, but they said that they were friends before. That's why Wendy brought her on the show. So if this person was your friend, how could your friend only be interested in being your TV friend? And I feel like all the discourse on Twitter and Instagram and everybody's forgetting that Wendy claimed that they were friends prior to the show. Maybe not close friends, but cool friends. So how is she now only trying to be your TV friend? Girl, I brought you here. So I don't know. That's weird to me. And basically Wendy is not having it. She is telling Kay tries to say her issue and Wendy is like, girl, like, no, like I don't like, not that I don't receive it, but I don't agree with your explanation of events and how you saw stuff. And it's like you're assigning feelings and whatever to things that I said and did when maybe that wasn't even my intention. And so, like, and it's crazy because people are like, oh, Wendy doesn't have to agree, but she should feel her and understand. And I'm like, and I think it should be the same way for Kay. Kay should feel Wendy. If Wendy's like, hey, that was my intention or that wasn't the spirit in which I came to you in, you should take that, correct? Correct. So then all of a sudden, Kay's like, well, I started seeing red flags and this and that, whoop whoop. And so Wendy's like, I too am seeing red flags because what's going on here is fake as heck, right? And it's funny because you're saying that Wendy is only interested in being a TV friend. And yes, Wendy did use examples of her being there for Kay, which were on camera. But she also goes on to say, when you call me, it's all cool and congratulations and big ups. conversations on the phone that happen before the season is taping does not make it sound like she's just trying to be your TV friend. And she's like, "Oh, there's a different energy between in person and on the phone." And it's like, "Okay, girl, what do you want?" And Wendy said it best. She's like, "There's a level of hand holding Kay wants in her friendships that I'm just too much of a grown woman to give." And I kind of agree because it just sounds like Kay is speaking out of both sides of her neck. Um, because like on one minute she just want to be your TV friend, and the next minute she calling and checking in and being a good friend. I don't know what Kay wants from this girl, but now they're going back and forth a little bit. And I don't know how Giselle came up. I think they were talking about like the conversation because she was like, "Girl, you walked up to mine and Giselle's conversation." And she's like, "You don't even like Giselle." She goes, "Girl, you don't like Giselle. Don't come talking crazy when you know you have your own secrets about this girl. Like, don't do that." Like, it's very weird because even if Wendy is not Giselle's best friend, and it wouldn't be weird because of their whole couple past seasons, but they're trying to turn a new leaf. So for you to come in, who's only known Giselle less time than Wendy, even though y'all never had no beef, to come and start, "Oh, you don't even like the girl." Girl, neither do you. Like, what are you talking about? I don't know. It just Kay just seems really mean girly. And also another point, girl, you're saying I only want to be your friend on camera, but you're only bringing up an issue to someone you claim is your friend on camera. Seems very I need a storyline to me. Personally, that's how it comes off. Like it's not it's not authentic to me to say, "Hey, you're my friend and I'm mad you did all this stuff 6 months ago." 2 months ago while the cameras were down, but I'm only waiting till the cameras are up to bring it up. But I have your number, your email, your address. Like, girl, come, what? No. And every time you bring it up is on camera because clearly we find out Kay has no problem calling people after the fact off camera to have conversations. Anyways, so then they kind of are going off. Wendy starts to laugh and like cackling. Like when I tell people I'm cackling, that laugh that Wendy did was exactly what I imagine. Like when I be telling people like, "Oh, I'm cackling." That's what I imagine. She cackled in that girl's face. And you could tell Kay was like upset because it's like you're not taking me seriously at all. And quite frankly, Wendy shouldn't take her seriously because girl, you is you're playing right now. And so she flicks her off. Wendy flicks off Kay. Kay flicks off Wendy. They get up and they're walking off because obviously nothing's gonna happen in this conversation. And Wendy tries to hug her, and Kay's like, "Get off me." I'm like, now I really believe that Kay is like making up the issue because Wendy clearly thinks they are like good on some level. Like, girl, I don't know what this is, and I'm not gonna hold it against you, but whatever. So then Kay says in her confessional after, like, we're not enemies, but we're not friends. Like it's somewhere in the middle. So she clearly has a problem. Then we see Angel with her husband and her family, and she's talking to them about how, like, after she left the event or after her event happened, she thought about the chin check comment and it actually started to like piss her off. So she was like, I feel like I need to talk to Kay about this because like it's actually bothering me. So this seems like it's in a mature way, but whatever. And Bobby was like, she basically said she hit you. Like, I love when the man or the husband or the people around will be like, hey, like, yes, the person played in your face and it needs to be addressed. And I feel like her husband was like, yeah, seems like it. Um, and then, yeah, so that kind of scene ends. And then we see Stacy and she meets up with Jazzy. And I'm like, okay, I thought Jazzy was done for, but it looks like they're keeping her in as a friend of. So Stacy and Jazzy meet, and they're talking about how they got close when they were both left behind at Mia's party in Miami. And she's saying that Stacy was there like apologizing for being a bad friend, saying she hasn't really contacted her or spoken to her. And Jazzy's like, "Oh girl, it's cool." Like, cause she's been planning her wedding to that man of hers. I'm kind of sad that we're not getting more detail about her and her man because, obviously she's just a friend of, but I kind of want a little bit more detail on that story. Um, but then Jassy says she's going to Preakness, so she'll see the ladies there. And Stacy was like, "Yeah, I was invited by both Kay and Wendy for their Preakness events, and I thought that was weird or whatever." She's like, "But I'm showing up to both, like whatever." Um, and then Stacy's telling Jazzy, like, "Oh, I've been getting beat up or beat down by Giselle and, and the other girls, and like over my, getting back with my ex-husband or whatever." She's like, "But what Giselle isn't telling everybody is she got a man." And she pulls up a photo and it looks like Giselle is with some ex NFL player. I didn't see the name. I probably should have rewinded, but I think it was like Sean Springs or something. I don't know. But all I know is he's dark skinned and probably bald. Um and then I love because Stacy goes, "Does your man know him?" And Jazzy's like, "Maybe he's heard of him." Like girl, like they are not age mates. Anyway, so now we see Tia and her kids, and they are going back and forth about something. Like, I guess Tia is saying that they can't leave the house, but they can invite friends over. And so the older daughter was like, "Mom said one friend, and the younger daughter wants to bring five or whatever." And she's like, "I didn't say that, blah, blah, blah." So they arguing, like kids do. They're teenagers. Her oldest is 16. Her next one is like 14 or whatever. So they're arguing like teenagers, and Tia is basically like, handling it. Her husband walks up and he was like, "What's going on? What's the problem?" And the daughter's like, "There is no problem." And Tia's like, "There's no problem." And he goes, "Oh, okay, not problem, but like, what's the issue?" The daughter's like, "There is no issue." And the mom was like, "Yeah, there's no issue." And I'm like, "Sir, you have two teenage daughters and you thought you was going to come in and be the peacemaker? There is no peace with teenagers. Teenagers don't know peace. That is our life. We want to have an attitude because we want to have an attitude. You can agree with us. You could disagree with us. You could stay silent. We're going to have the attitude." I say we're, but as a former teenage girl. I am obviously not a current teenage girl, but yeah, sometimes you just want to have attitude. It's a thing. You wake up, someone, my sister, whoever, pissed me off, and I want to have an attitude today. So I'm going to have one. And that's basically what's going on in Tia's household. And, Tia in her confessional is talking about how she was raised. She's like, "I was raised Nigerian in Britain, and my kids are being raised in America. So sometimes it's hard to like do the same things that was done to me because, it's a different time and a different place." She's like her mom, when her mom told her to do the dishes, if she didn't do the dishes, she said her mama would take the dishes out of the sink and leave them on her bed to let her know she was not playing with her. And while I cackled when she told that story, I was like, sometimes, like she said, you got to be a little crazy so your kids know not to mess with you. And I concur. But she says her husband doesn't really hold the kids accountable. He's kind of just like, "Oh, okay," and like lets them get away with that, whatever. So it's kind of like hard for them sometimes to get on one accord with the kids. Um, then some of the ladies meet Giselle at the store. Tia, Angel, Wendy, they meet up with Giselle at the store to go shopping. And Giselle announces that she's planning a trip to Nevis. Nevis? Nevis. It's an island. And she's like, to stay at the Four Seasons. It's going to be a big one. And the girls are like excited. And she's like, and Giselle in her confessional is like, "Well, this is my second trip." She's like, "No, they haven't let me plan a trip since New Orleans." And honestly, that's kind of crazy because Giselle has been there so long. So the fact that she's only planned that New Orleans trip since seems weird. But either way, whatever, they're letting her plan this trip. Um, Angel was like, "I've never been away from my kids." So like she's a little nervous about it. Um, and then Giselle confronts Wendy about Kay. She's like, "How are y'all doing?" Whatever. Wendy's like, "I don't know. I think we're cool." Like, can't really say too much, you know? And like Tia and Angel were like, yeah, no, like what happened or whatever. And then Jizzy then asked Angel about Kay and was like, oh, how did it go since being chin checked or whatever? And Angel was like, well, Kay called me afterwards and she denied it and she said she didn't say it. And, you know, that's my girl. So I'm going to believe her. Now, this is where I say things get weird because Angel, who is your friend to you, Kay, you called her completely from the away from the cameras to really try to squash a situation. Now, yes, you lied, but you was really trying to squash a situation or, you know, rectify a situation. They obviously had whatever conversation that they had in that space. But I'm like, you keep saying that Wendy only wants to be your friend on camera, and all these people are agreeing with you, but they actually are physically watching you and how you behave with someone who's really your friend. You pick up the phone and call them without the cameras to really squash a situation. Whether you're lying or not, the point is, Angel got the decency of a personal call away from the cameras to talk. Afford Wendy that same opportunity or stop playing. Because right now it just sounds like you playing. Um, so we go. Kay is having her little Preakness brunch at the house, and she's setting up, and Greg is there. Greg is there. Her mom is there. Her mom is so beautiful. Um, I don't know why Greg is there, but I guess Greg is there to show support, to show that he's still in her life. He shouldn't be there, and he shouldn't be in her life. Well, you know what? I don't know if he treats her well, which I don't think he does, based on what she was saying herself. But whatever, girl, do you? Um, so all the girls start getting there, and Stacy comes and she's like, "Oh, Greg, what are you doing here?" Basically, like, "Why are you here? I thought you and Stacy broke up. Like, what is you doing here?" And he goes, "Yeah, I live here sometimes, and she, you know, I'm here sometimes. She's at my place, this and that." And Stacy's just looking like, "I thought you guys weren't together." So then all the girls who were not at shopping kind of show up first, and Giselle invites them to Nevis as well. Um, and honestly, I didn't really like the outfit that Giselle had on. And then somebody made a comment about it. So I was like, okay, I'm not crazy. She really kind of look a mess here at this little Preakness event. Um, and then and then Giselle asked Kay about Wendy's event, which is a Preakness event, and she's like, "Oh, obviously all the girls are here now," and she's like, "Oh, you know, Wendy liked to be first, better, best, so you know, blah 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 blah." I'm like, "Kay, like I feel like you're being unnecessarily snappy," and I'm gonna say this: when people are unhappy in a situation and they feel like they can't be mad at the situation being Greg, they sometimes tend to lash out on other people. And I feel like that's what we're witnessing here. Kay is not happy with her man, but she's also kind of like happy to have him back. So she doesn't want to say anything or do anything to maybe ruin that. So instead of like going off on him, she's now going off and being shady to Wendy. That's what it seems like to me. That's what I feel like it is. Because it just seems so unnecessary and so mean girly and just weird. I'm just not getting it. And I like Kay. Actually, I do. I just think this situation is getting weird. And Wendy was like, "It's weird that you always want to have a problem with me. Like, girl, what is going on?" And Stacy even comes and was like, "What has Wendy like? What is Wendy doing? Like, what are you mad at? You know?" And then Jizzy then calls out Kay for lying to Angel. She's like, "I don't have nothing to lie about. Why would you tell Angel that I was lying?" And then once again, Kay clearly flip flops again and goes, "Oh, I did say it. I'm sorry, whatever, whatever." I'm like, so Angel, if she, every time the girls are there holding her accountable, admits to saying it, why are you believing her again? I'm not saying that she's not your friend and you shouldn't believe your friend, but girl, it's getting weird. weird. Um, and then Angel was just kind of like, oh, I'm just going to accept it. Her apology. She's my friend. Whoop de whoop. But it's kind of weird because it seems like Angel came in real docile even when she walked into the place. So it was, her energy is already like weird and off. And like Kay kind of starts going off like, girl, drop it, blah, 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 whoop, whoop, whoop. And Angel's just kind of like, and like, I don't know if Angel is receiving what Kay is saying, but or maybe something happened before she came or something's happened personally, but her energy was very like demoted. Like it was weird. Um and so Wendy is like, "Wait, what the hell? Like y'all have smoke for me and I didn't do nothing, but your friend is coming at you and you're not saying anything," or whatever she said. And you know, Angel starts going off on Wendy, and Wendy's like, "Wait, wait, wait! You're going off on me. Giselle brought it up. I was there and heard it. Tia can confirm." And everybody's like, "Yeah, you said it. You came and said you were mad." Oh, because sorry, let me back up. Angel was saying they brought up the fact that you accepted her apology, all this stuff, but when we were at the store, this is what Wendy's saying. When we were at the store, you had smoke for Kay. Like you was upset. And so Angel starts getting mad at her, like Wendy, for bringing that up. And Wendy was like, but Giselle was the first one to bring it up. I'm just confirming, and Tia's confirmed it too. But you don't have smoke for nobody else. You just have smoke for me. She was like, you even brought up Kay getting beat up, basically by, or not beat up, but getting that glass thrown in her face in reference to why would she talk about being chin checked or people being chin checked when she been checked. And so they're all like, again, only energy for Wendy, only energy for Wendy. Even Giselle is agreeing. Yeah, yeah, I said it. Yeah, I agree. Yes, I believe this. Tia's like, yes, you said it. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Angel won't even budge. She is just mad at Wendy. That's it. So now it's starting to look a little silly. It almost, in that conversation in which Kay called her personally, she said the only person to gang up on was Wendy. Something must have happened because it's not 1 plus 1 is equaling 4 right now. Okay. Like it doesn't even make sense. So then she does say something that I do think is pretty astute and I agree with. She said the emotions you may have in a moment may be different than the emotions that you have when you sleep on something and you know you get over it or you think about it. And I agree with that because sometimes I'll be angry in the moment thinking about something like, dang, that's really effed up. I can't believe that person did that. I can't believe that person would say that. Like, whoop, whoop. And I'm upset. But then a day goes by. I think about it. I sit on it and I'm like, oh, not really that mad. Or, oh, I can see their point. Or I talk to someone else and that person's like, girl, it wasn't even that serious. So I get that point, but I just don't like how she came at the situation. Like it's very, very weird. Um, and it's just like, to only have smoke for Wendy is the weird part. You can get over something, but then you could also say like, "Hey Wendy, like whatever," but you're just mad at her even though she wasn't even the person that brought it up and everyone else is co-signing. It's very calculated, and that's why I said the mean girls coming in cuz they plotting. And when you start plotting, I don't like it. So then the to stop the situation, um Greg comes over and he's like, here's some money, go to Preakness, make a bet, whatever. So the lady's like, oh, okay, let's go. You know how they do. They get up, they go to get into the little party bus thing that's going to take them over to Preakness, and they get in the car. So now they're in the car, and Giselle decides to make a little toast to the ladies. She's like, oh, or Wendy makes a toast to everybody, like, you know, to having a good time, loving on everybody, having blah, 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 blah. And then Giselle goes, and I'd like to make a toast to Angel because she looks so upset. And she was like, I'm not upset. I'm mad. Girl, what are you talking about? And she was like, oh, I'm mad at Wendy. What are you talking about, sis? Like, get oh like what? But then Stacy and starts getting it into it with Kay, and then Kay like spills her drink or something. Like I don't know. She's like trying to drink the champagne and she spills it, and she's looking for a napkin. And Wendy's like, "Oh, somebody get her a napkin, whatever, whatever." And then being petty because now it seems like Wendy is about to play this petty game, and she was like, "Oh, girl, you have a cotton dress. If I had a cotton dress, I would wipe Kay off. Why are you just sitting there letting her sit wet with the champagne?" And she was like, "Well, you wipe her off." She goes, "My dress is not long enough and it's not cotton. You need to, get up there and wipe her off." I was like, "Wendy, you getting into that petty bag," and I love it because these people was playing with you. They playing in your face, and you need to play right the fuck back. I agree with it. I am on her side now. Um, and Angel is just literally sitting there looking stupid. And honestly, I still don't know what was wrong with her. And maybe we'll hear about it later. I don't know if it'll ever come out, but she really was just sitting there looking dumb. Like, even when they were in the house, there was a point where Wendy was like, "Angel, are you okay? If you need help, blink twice." Like, because it was like, "Girl, what is wrong with you? You look like someone who is under a spell or being held hostage. Like, you being weird." I don't know. And like, I want to like her. We're 3 episodes in. Like, it's still up in the air. Her character is still pretty cool, but this episode was so weird. It was so weird. I didn't get her behavior. So then um Kay tries to make this little speech talking about like, "Oh, I know how it is coming into this group with these girls. It's tough." And whoop whoop whoop. And Angel's just kind of nodding. And then I don't know exactly, honestly, sometimes I be tuning people out. And then Kay was like, "But I can't stand these hoes, blah, 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 blah." And Stacy's like, "Are you calling me a hoe?" And she's like, "It's a colloquialism. I'm not really calling you a hoe," and blah, 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 blah. So they going back and forth. And Stacey's like, "Well, you know what? Let me stop because I don't want to get chin checked." And Kay, I don't know what she says. And Stacey goes, "Because you would be the one to tell me, or you would be the one to show me." Stacey. Season 2 Stacy is coming in hot, and I kind of really love it. Okay? I really love it because they are coming so hard for Stacy, and Stacy is letting the mess roll off her perfectly. Like, you can't let these people get you because once they know they can get you, they keep digging. So they're trying to come at her, and Stacy's really not letting it happen. And it was funny because they cut to Ashley in the confessional, and she was like, "Oh my God, that was such a crazy situation. This is so low of Stacy. It makes me want to chin check her." Shut your forehead ass up because how dare you, Ashley, of all people, who was asking Kay about her scar following the fight and still trying to defend your friend Deborah, is has the audacity to say that Stacy has gone too far? Ashley, Ashley go too far. Darby has the audacity to say that someone else has gone too far. Girl, don't piss me off. Don't piss me off because how dare you? How dare you? And that's pretty much how the episode ends. But I'm just like, "Ashley, are you crazy?" Clearly, you are. But honestly, I thought this episode was good. I feel like Giselle is really working the girls. Like, you're not going to get away with saying something. Trust me, Giselle has spent a lot of seasons lying, but she is now coming with the facts. And I think that's why she got close to Kay. And Kay is so foolish, she don't see that Giselle is her friend to get information so she can come back. This is the third time. We've had 3 episodes, and Kay has been called out by Giselle in almost every one. Girl, that is not your friend. She is using you for the plot, and you a fool. Plain and simple. But I love it though because it keeps the episodes entertaining. Honestly. And Wendy is doing her job, fraudster or not. She's clocking in. She's doing her job. And Stacy is not letting these girls play her, which I love. I'm glad that they brought Jazzy back as a friend of. I hope Angel figures something out and fast because her behavior is getting weird. Tia is quiet so far. I like her family. I'm liking what I'm seeing. She kind of assessing what's going on before she strikes. Um Kay is being a mean girl. She's being real weird. I hope she gets better throughout the season. I don't want to continue to see this attacking Wendy trope. It's dead. It's old. NECA did it, and we saw what happened to her. She's no longer on the show. Okay, get a different person, boo. But what do y'all think? How did you like episode 3? How do you feel about the ladies? Are you happy that Jazzy is back in the capacity that she is? Do you think she should have a bigger role? What are y'all thinking? Where are your thoughts? Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Um, and let me know what you're thinking. I will see you guys for the next episode. Bye.